All right, so the last thing we are looking at, the only additional thing we have to add to our knowledge is the shading, and either dashed or solid, which actually isn't new. We've talked about this already with lines. So now we're just adding it to the parabolas, okay? So we have to figure out how to graph this. First of all, this isn't in the form that we usually graph from, correct? This is in standard form. So we are going to switch it over to vertex form. This is a good refresher, especially since we have our test coming up. All right, so how do we switch it to this form? What information do we need?
H, A, K.
We need h and k, and then we use the same a value that we have, right? Okay, what is our a value? Our a value? 1. Okay, so we're going to use 1 in our equation over here. But we need h and k, so we're going to start by finding h with our formula. So what are we going to write here? So what would that be? Positive 8, and then 2 times 1, so we get 4. So we already know h. How do you always find k? Yes, we substitute the 4 back into the equation. So we've got 4 squared, 8 times 4 plus 2. All right, so what's this? Negative 14. Question so far? Okay, then we can write our equation. So the graphable form is y equals, we don't have to write a because it's 1. And then we have x, what? Good. Okay, but I'm going to erase this equal sign because it's not equals. It's actually less than or equal to. So let's talk about what each of these things are telling us to do. And in front here. Okay, so what is the inequality telling us? 2 things. Solid line. Shade where?
Circle. Below.
Above or below?
Below.
Below. Okay, so it's a solid line, and we're going to shade below. Okay, what does the no number, no negative, nothing tell us in front?
It's going to be at 0.
Not at 0. What does this number in front tell us? Kind of the steepness of the parabola, how steep it is. So when there's no number, what do we have to do? We need our 5 dots, the original size. So we need to plot all 5 of these dots. So we'll do that. Where are we moving here? Mm-hmm. And this is down. All right, so now we know everything we need to about this graph. We're going to have to extend our grid a little bit. This is a 10 by 10. So we're going to go right 4, and let's extend this right now. So we've got, okay, so there's our dot. Now the 5 dots from there, we need to go up 1 over 1. And then where do we go from the vertex? Over 2, up 4. Solid line. And we still have to shade, so we shade below the parabola. Okay, you don't need to go hog wild crazy with your shading as long as I know what side of the parabola you're shading in on. Okay, less than means you shade underneath. Questions? Let's try one more before we get to the homework. Okay, this one. Again, not in vertex form, so let's quickly change that over by finding h and k. So we got negative b over 2a, which on this one would be 2 times 1, so we got negative 3. So we'll take that negative 3, substitute it back in. Negative 11. Somebody double check my math. Okay. So our equation is now y is greater than x what?
-3 squared.
We're subtracting our h value. So if we,
+3 squared.
yep, it'll change to plus, minus negative turns to plus, and then we've got minus 11 on the end. So again, what does each of these things tell us? A dotted line, shade above, no number in the front. We need all 5 dots. And where are we moving? Move left and move down. Okay, so we'll go left 3, down 11. We need 5 dots, so we'll go up 1, over 1, and then over 2, up 4, a dotted line, and shade above. Questions? Yep. The top 2 dots? So those other dots, you're always going to go out 2 and up 4 from the vertex to get those other ones. Any other questions?
Charlie, really?